is somehow fitting that the Vancouver Grizzlies should finish their season against Steve Francis and the Houston Rockets. It was, after all, Francis who fired the first shot in what turned out to be a season of turmoil and change. Now 2 head coaches and 3 owners later, there are likely more changes ahead. But first, it's the regular season finale. Francis versus Vancouver one more time. Bibby, 4 seconds, 3, 2, penetrate, lay in, go! It's Molson Grizzlies basketball on VTV and LG 73 radios. We are deep in the heart of Texas, in Houston and Compaq Center, downtown Houston, what used to be known as the Summit, as Vancouver will watch the Fat Lady sing, coming in to take on Houston in the last game of the regular season. And of course, this is a special night in many ways. It's the last game ever for Charles Barkley of the Houston Rockets, who missed 58 games this year with a ruptured tendon in his knee, did not want to end his 16-year career being carried off the court. He wanted to do it walking off the court, and we will see him play tonight against the Vancouver Grizzlies, probably in the second quarter. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Poyer, along with Jay Triano. And Jay, last game for the Grizzlies, last game for Sir Charles. Kind of a special game.
It is a special game, Don, and a real honor to be part of it. I think that Charles Barkley has established himself as one of the all-time greats. An all-star in this league for many years. He represented his country in the 92 and the 96 Olympics. He's a good guy who sometimes tried to act bad, but I'll tell you what, he's in fine company as far as his stats are concerned. 20,000 points plus, 10,000 rebounds plus, 4,000 assists. There's only 2 other players that have done that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain. So Sir Charles Barkley is in fine company.
Yeah, just a couple of average Joes that played basketball as well. Yeah. Season began, of course, with that trade of Steve Francis. Seems like old news now, but it really is what happened. He came down here. The Grizzlies got Dickerson and Othello Harrington, the principals in that trade, and they've really lived up to their numbers.
Well, they really have. It's a trade, Don, that was the biggest in the NBA history, and it's also a trade that's going to be viewed at and looked at over a long period of time. Steve Francis has put up very, very good numbers. 18 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 6.6 assists this season, and he's established himself as the leading candidate, or one of the leading candidates, for Rookie of the Year. When you look at the Vancouver Grizzlies, Michael Dickerson, tell you what, has he ever been a lot of fun to watch? He's got the outside shot, and over his last 8 games, he's averaged almost 24 points per game. Throw into the mix there the other player they had, Othello Harrington, 15.7 points, almost 7 rebounds, and 55% from the field in the month of April. Othello Harrington has put up very, very big numbers, and he's also moved up to 9th in the NBA as far as field goal percentage. So Othello Harrington and Michael Dickerson versus Steve Francis, it's going to be debated for a long time.
And gotta believe those 3 all want to play especially hard tonight. Especially Othello Harrington, who built a house here just last year and is now home. All right, as far as the Tellus advantage, last time for the Euro, great one. What do you like?
Oh, I like Shareef Abdur-Rahim again. I thought his performance in the third quarter the other night, where he had 21 third-quarter points at San Antonio, including 16 in a row, where the Vancouver Grizzlies seemed to stumble a bit and couldn't get shots. He only needs 6 rebounds in this game to put himself in elite company with 20 points and 10 rebounds as an average on the season. The Tellus advantage is the leader, Shareef Abdur-Rahim. All right, JT, for the last time, we get to bring in Norma Wickens. He's going to talk with Lionel Hollins after this break. It's Houston, it's the Grizzlies, it's Sir Charles. All of it coming up live from Houston right after this. The Grizzlies on BTV is brought to you by Molson Canadian, proud sponsors of the Vancouver Grizzlies. By Pontiac, Pontiac built for drivers. And by Air Canada, proud to be courtside with the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Norma Wick back at the Compaq Center with Grizzlies head coach Lionel Hollins. Lionel, the guys have played very well down the stretch. In fact, they've done everything but win.
They really have. They put out and gave great effort. And I'm just truly proud of the way that they've played. Unfortunately, we haven't come away with too many wins, but as I told them, if they go out and play that hard from the beginning to the end, starting next year, that they'll be rewarded. And it's just unfortunate that they couldn't be rewarded in this fashion this year.
There's been so much talk about all the changes that are up in the air. Does it feel like an ending of sorts tonight, the final game?
It really does. This morning was our last shoot-around. We only shot around for about a half hour. We had a shooting game for some money. And then I just told the guys, let's get out of here. And I wrote up on the board in the locker room, the last one, just go out and win. Doesn't matter how we do it, just go do it.
In a way, we've come back to the beginning because you're facing the team that is largely responsible for the look of the Grizzlies, particularly Mike Dickerson, and you really honed in on his strengths.
Well, Mike Dickerson and Othello Harrington came over from Houston, and they provided, scoring and stability at two positions. They just locked those positions up and made us solid. And, I read in the paper where people are still saying we made a mistake in drafting Steve Francis, but we actually, if we had not drafted Steve Francis and made the trade, which is what the other choice and alternative was, we still would have gotten some other players. And by drafting Steve Francis, we wound up letting everybody know who that player was and what we wanted for him. And we were able to help our team, and they helped their team as well. And that's what trades are all about.
You shared so many memorable moments with Charles Barkley. Your association goes back to the Phoenix Suns, and it looks like you're going to share another memorable moment tonight when he enters and leaves the court.
Well, I'm glad that this game doesn't mean anything, because if it meant something, I wouldn't want Charles to play. But he deserves the right and opportunity to come and go out standing on his own two legs and having the fans cheering one last time as he walks off the court rather than limps off. And he's been a great player in this league, and he's provided a lot of excitement for fans, and he's provided a lot for the NBA, and it's great that he has this opportunity to go out this way.
I know a lot of fans will probably think Steve Francis is Rookie of the Year, but I think in the hearts of Grizzlies fans, they'd vote you Coach of the Year, and I know that they're pulling for you and wishing you well.
Well, I wish all the fans well back in Vancouver, and it's not over till it's over, and we don't know anything, and I'm not speculating that it's going to be or not going to be. I'll just wait and see, and hopefully it'll work out for the best, and then that best is in Vancouver.
Thank you, Lionel. Enjoy tonight. We'll be back with Tip-Off and Dawn and Jay when we return.
You can have all the things.
Number 5, the Cat, Christina Mosley, with his jersey for Kathy Atkins. And number 4, Sir Charles Barkley, with his jersey for Jordan Poole. And now tonight's starters, number 40, Justin Anderson, with his jersey for
Texas Compact Center, where right now many of the players for Houston are coming out. There's Steve Francis and presenting their jerseys to various fans as they come out, give each fan a hug, and then go over and get in line with the rest of their teammates. As Kenny Thomas is there, as the starting power forward in Moochie Norris. And the starting lineups now for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Last game of the year, Othello Harrington coming back home, where, as I mentioned earlier, built a new home last year. Gets to sleep in his own bed for a change, so he ought to be ready for this game, along with Sharif and Big Country Reeves in the front line. Michael Dickerson, Mike Bibby, the M&Ms at the guard spots. Lionel Hollins now standing at 17 and 42 as a head coach, and would love to come back and be the head man again. He is the head man for this final game, as I mentioned, at 17 and 42. For the Houston Rockets, a team that the Grizzlies beat 89-87 in the last meeting back on April 4th. It'll be Kenny Thomas, Walt Williams, the small forward, Kelvin Cato, the center, shot blocking expert and very, very effective last time they played the Grizzlies. Steve Francis, Shandon Anderson, the guards, Francis the point man, and of course the former Utah Jazz star Shandon Anderson at the two guard. And Rudy Tomjanovich, first time in a long, long while. They have not been preparing for the playoffs, some 14 years or so. But Rudy's got the makings of a great little team, as they have won 10 of their last 13, 6 of their last 8. And Charles Barkley, as you see on the right of your screen on television side, we are told, Gene Peterson, voice of the Rockets, told me he will come in at the start of the second quarter. And this place will explode. Compact Center may never witness a more meaningful or louder ovation.
Right, Don, and I think that there's eyes all around North America that are focused in on this game here with Charles Barkley in his last game. Outstanding career. He missed the last 58, as we know, with a ruptured quadriceps tendon, and it's going to be very, very fitting that he plays a couple minutes and then gets the ovation that he deserves as he walks off the court for the last time in his NBA career.
Good crowd tonight. Again, this is the last game for both Houston and Vancouver. Othello Harrington playing very well in April, averaging 16 points, 7 rebounds, shooting 55% in this month. And as Jay mentioned in the pregame, number 9 in field goal percentage. And Michael Dickerson, has he ever become a star? As in the month of April, shooting 22 points a game, better than 3 assists. He's in the top 5. Check that. He is in the top 40 in 5 different categories. Big Country Reeves says he will be in shape and ready to go next fall. Mike Bibby. Mike with a sensational second year, averaging 14 points and now 8.1 assists per game.
And that makes him number 8 in the NBA, Don, so he's really moved up in that category.
And Sharif, who has only missed 2 games in his entire career, will now start his 82nd game of the season. Did not miss one this year. Neither did Mike Bibby, neither did Mike Dickerson, neither did Othello Harrington. Grizzlies win the toss, and now Bibby gets things started. Coming off the country slide here to the right side. Still holding up. Now gives inside to Sharif, working on Walt Williams. Comes up with a high jump hook, rattles and falls through. Grizzlies strike pay dirt first.
Well, Don, they do the right thing, too. They go inside to Sharif Abdur-Rahim and did a real nice job getting it inside.
Shot clocks above the baskets aren't operating. We'll look in the far corners. 15 on the shot clock. Francis with it out on top. Set a screen with Thomas. Doesn't use it. Curls to the right. Now backs away. Herky jerk moves. Zigzag into the paint. Floats it off the window. No good. Rebound into Country's hand. Give to Bibby. Mike brings it up quickly to the right side. Grizzlies up 2-0. Bibby takes the deep jumper. Why not? Rim short. Goes over the backboard. And Lionel Hollins mentioned at least radio side in our pregame. He doesn't expect to see a whole lot of defense tonight. He thinks it's going to be a horse race.
So there hasn't been a whole lot of defense done in the last 7 games. Opposition has been able to score 51.4% against the Grizzlies. So it's one thing that definitely has to improve moving into next season.
And we'll rattle off the percentage points later, but it's staggering. Left side, Kenny Thomas with a fadeaway. Rims way short. Bibby with a rebound. Mike in traffic, brings it up. Trying to push things a little bit. Gives to Country. Goes along the baseline. Up for the two-handed jam. And the Grizzlies are up 4-zip. Houston a little slow getting back.
Lots of smiles on the faces of all the players. They feel good playing in this game. Down, there's no pressure at all. Just going out to play. There's not even a draft choice or percentage points as far as ping pong balls are concerned in this game.
Thomas with a spin move up off the window. No, and a late whistle called on Othello Harrington. First foul on O tonight. Othello only got into the 4:15 mark in the first quarter. He was ejected, if you recall, on that April 4th game.
Well, Thomas tries to take it inside against Harrington, and Harrington just bumps the elbow a little bit on the way up, and it was a pretty bad miss by Thomas. And I think, you know, the miss, as bad as it was, alerted the officials that there might have been a little bit more contact than they thought initially.
Kenny Thomas makes the first one. Kenny in his 29th start, averaging 8.6 rebounds a game. Also an assist. He had a double-double against the Grizzlies. 10 points, 11 rebounds in the last meeting, but shot only 3 of 10. Both foul shots are good. It's a 4-2 ball game. Grizzlies with the early lead. 10.5 minutes to go first quarter. Mike Bibby walks it down left side angle. Now out on top to Dickerson. Slides down to the right side of the key. Up off the window. The drive is good as it's set on the rim. Whirled and finally flushed. 6-2. Grizzlies up. Steve Francis quiet so far. Missed his one and only shot attempt. Gave to Thomas, left side angle. Out comes Shandon Anderson. Had a nice game against Phoenix last night. These guys are coming off a 107-98 win against Phoenix in Phoenix last evening. Thomas for the 3-ball. Good. The feed from Anderson, and Kenny Thomas, a power forward that can plant it from three-point land.
And Thomas getting to play a lot more than he would have, Don, had the injuries not happened to Olajuwon and Barkley.
He was planted on the end of the bench at the beginning of the season. Dickerson fakes right, drives left, gives to Bibby. He'll try the 3-ball. No. Rebound. Country can't get it. Kelvin Cato can. Lofts it out to Anderson. 6'5", Grizzlies. Anderson in traffic now curls out and gives it left side to Williams. Walt shooting very well in his last couple of games until the Phoenix game. Last night 0 for 8. Alley-oop attempt to Cato. No. The pickup loose ball. Shandon Anderson, his 3-pointer. No good. Sharif with a rebound and out to Bibby. Mike, no-look pass as he tried to go into Sharif, or rather into Harrington, and Harrington said, was that supposed to go to me? Down to the right is Francis, gives to Williams. He'll try the 3 ball, no good again. And the rebound to Bibby. Walt Williams 0 for 8 against the Suns yesterday. This time gets to Harrington. They connect, and there's the lay-in. Great job by Mike getting it up court.
Yeah, and you know, the last time that they tried that same pass on, he tried to throw it over top, and Harrington got bumped a little bit. When you get bumped like that, he couldn't get to the basketball.
3 assists for Bibby already on 4 field goals made. Williams on top, nearly got the ball stolen by Country. Williams will work on Sharif. He settles for the deep one again. Boy, he's just going to keep spraying it on the fence till it sticks.
Well, this team played last night, so they just want to feel it out a little bit at the start of this game.
Bibby dives into the paint. The ball stolen by Francis. It's a foot race. Francis will win that one going away.
Francis was going to dunk it, but Bibby chased enough to make him just want to lay it in.
Bibby 0 for 2, but he has 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Sharif will work on Williams into the paint, up with a rolling shot, no good. Then the foul is called by Jess Kersey, and it'll be on Walt Williams.
What a great steal by Steve Francis, Don. He does so many different things well. Bibby tries to go inside. Francis gets his hand in the pot and just basically plucks it away and goes to the other end, sees Bibby over his back and decides, hey, maybe I'll just lay it in instead of trying some kind of fancy dunk.
Sharif hits the first foul shot. Reef with an incredible third quarter against San Antonio. Those 21 points in the third quarter, 16 of them consecutively. Hits them both from the foul line, and the Grizzlies are back up to a 3-point lead, 10-7, with 8:11 to go first quarter. The finale for both teams. Here comes Cato to set a topside pick. Francis brings it out on top of the mountain. Give to Anderson. Over to the left side to Williams. 1 up big 2. Passes inside. Thomas trying to shoot and trying to pass. The ball batted away. Now the Grizzlies have it. Here comes Bibby. Comes down here to the left side. Stops. He'll pop it. And rim short. Rebound into Thomas' hands. And out to Walt Williams. Williams to Anderson to the right. Free agent who signed, and he tries to make a move to the hoop, and the ball's knocked out of his hands out of bounds. They say it's still his Houston ball. 17 in the shot clock.
Well, I'm really surprised that the Rockets are just content at passing the ball around the perimeter right now, not trying to penetrate as much as they did when they were successful in building a lead against the Grizzlies for the last time that these two teams met.
Anderson inbounds to Francis. Another pick by Thomas. Spinning is Francis. Fires it out on top. Cato takes the deep jumper. Good. Kelvin Cato hit a couple of those against Vancouver in the April 4th meeting. Vancouver winning that one 102-100.
Rockets not too pleased with the fact that they paid Cato so much money and that he hasn't come through like they thought he might.
Sharif 2 hands at left side. Dickerson down the lane. Hangs, and he's fouled hard. Shot doesn't go. And it'll be on at number 40, Shandon Anderson. Again, the quickness of Michael should be a real advantage.
Yeah, if you trail coming around that screen, you get behind Michael Dickerson. He knows how to curl that. He'll just curl it right around the basket, take it right into the hole. He ran into a little bit of resistance, but it was actually Anderson who fouled him from behind.
Dickerson with 29 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists against San Antonio, and he was 10 of 11 from the foul line. Outstanding game. 9 of 22 shooting overall. Struggled in that department, but still got the job done. Both shots are good, and the Grizzlies are up to 3 again with the margin. 12-9 with 7:16 to go first quarter. Steve Francis walks over to the right side angle. Anderson comes through, comes out left, gets the ball from the elbow, tries to drive, gets to the hoop, lays it up good with the left hand.
It got touched or batted away slightly about 3 times on that drive to the basket, but he finally was able to get control and lay it in.
12-11 in favor of the Grizzlies. Bibby content with just waiting on the right side now, trying to get people in the right spot. High entry pass into Harrington, turns, there's the jump hook, short. But the foul is called.
Well, the Grizzlies trying to share the basketball a little bit, Don. I mean, Harrington had only attempted 1 shot to that point. The Grizzlies deliberately ran a play to get him the ball in the low post.
6:46 remaining first quarter. 12-11 Grizzlies. Let's take a timeout. Be right back. Inside you can see 2 gentlemen, JJ and Neil from Vancouver, and the signs say we flew from Vancouver to boo Steve Francis. Now that's dedication.
Sitting high up in the upper deck.
Yeah, they're up to our right, way up on top. JJ and Neil have been to all 3 games in Texas this week. Into Dallas, into San Antonio, and now here in Houston. Great kids. Really, I admire them greatly. They're having a ball, taking the bus to each city and getting to see some basketball Texas style. Mike Bibby, in the meanwhile, 3 early assists, couple rebounds, hasn't found pay dirt yet. 0 for 3. And Walt Williams, who was 0 for 8 against Phoenix. Where's he at now, Jay? He's 0 for 2.
He's on the Houston Rockets. For their first 5 shots were threes. Since then, they started going to layups or inside shots, and as a result, they've climbed back into this game.
Harrington hits the foul shot. Othello, as we mentioned earlier, 16.7 rebounds a game and 55% in the month of April. He is finishing with a flourish. Next one is good. 14-11 Grizzlies by 3. Francis brings it up with the right-handed dribble. Has Williams to his left and gives to Walt. Here comes the Wizard. The foul line stopped. He traveled. Yes. Has some happy feet right at the foul line. Was thinking about stopping maybe, and then the seas parted. And
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Mike Bibby came over on the weak side, went for the steal down low, and Williams tried to protect the basketball and got those happy feet.
Each team with 2 turnovers. Bibby. And now to Sharif, top of the mountain against Williams. Boy, that's a matchup that was made in heaven for Sharif. Here's Dickerson. He'll try the 3 ball. Rattles in and out. Rebound Shandon Anderson. Out to Francis. Slow pace really so far in this game. Francis looking for Cato, and now after giving up the dribble, passes left side. Out of bounds. Oh, touched by Sharif. That's too bad. Francis had given up the dribble, wanted to go with the entry pass, then realized that wasn't going to work, and he couldn't go anywhere.
No, Cato went back door, and Sharif went out to the wing, got a hand on it to try to deflect it, but had no idea that there was no one there.
14 on the shot clock. Francis from out on top again. Looks like they want to clear it out for him. Here comes Bibby on defense. Francis starts left, now hesitates, takes the jump shot, rims no good. Harrington the rebound. Out to Mike. And Bibby floats down here to the right side. Quick cut to the left. Off the screen by Country. Won't take the shot, though. Bibby still on the left side. Tells Sharif, get down on the blocks left side. I'll give it to you. Now to Harrington. High float pass into Reef. Against Cato. Gets it out. Here's Dickerson. Will he take the 3? No. Comes down to the right. Now into the paint. Turns. Spins. Gives to Country. Got to shoot. Shot clock down to 1. Country puts it up. Banks it off the board.
He'll take it.
That's an H.
He's got a big smile on his face, Don, and 4 Grizzly players, Raheem, Harrington, Reeves, and Dickerson, all with 4 points now.
16-11, Grizzlies by 5. Anderson comes off the screen trying to create the mismatch, takes the 3-pointer and rims short. Rebound tapped out on top by Cato, and Francis has it. Drives to the paint, shoves it out now to Thomas, looking for his second 3-pointer of the night. Won't get it. The follow is good by the Wizards. Williams.
Yeah, Sharif got caught standing still waiting for the ball to come to him. Williams came from the weak side, took off and jumped, and obviously the player that jumps is going to have a better chance of getting the boards.
Grizzlies by 3, just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bibby off to the right, cuts back off the screen by Country to the left, gets to the foul line, hands off to Dickerson, curls in, comes to the paint, beats the Country, shoots from the baseline for 15. Good. Excellent movement.
That bank shot gave Country some confidence, Don. He's 3 of 3 so far in this game.
Abina Kesey about to come into the ball game. Grizzlies again up by 4, 18-14. Francis trying to decide what he wants to do. Finally penetrates and got the shot to Cato. He was blocked from behind by Country, and there's going to be a jump ball. Ooh, what a nifty theft by the big fella.
Yeah, you know what? That was a great pass by Steve Francis, because Cato had the inside position, sliding in behind Country, got all basketball, maybe slid off a little bit, but calls for the jump ball, and that's what he gets.
Harrington will sit down with 4:23 remaining first quarter. The jump ball tapped way out to the other end of the court, and Francis saves it. So here comes Houston trailing by 7, 18-11. Thought that scoreboard was wrong earlier. Here's the feed into Thomas. A lot of contact with Country. Feeds to Williams. The 3-pointer is good. Williams is in his last 2 field goals now. A tip in, and now the 3 ball.
Now the scoreboard's right.
There we go, 18-14. Yeah,
right back where it was.
Something was wrong there a moment ago.
They knew something we didn't.
I guess. Here's Dickerson on the left against Anderson. Anderson about the same size as Dickerson. Here's Abina. Turns against Thomas. Tries to shoot. Ball stripped away by Thomas. Thomas gives it up now to the right side. Anderson. Perky jerk move. Now pops it in the third gear and scoots to the hoop for the lay-in that's good. Tie game on a 7-0 run, according to this scoreboard anyway. Down to 3:23 to go first quarter. Bibby fakes right, drives left, goes to the hoop, ball knocked away, and what do we have? Vancouver ball as no foul was called. Bibby wanted the foul, of course.
Now, Jeff Kersey, they're talking about they're going to give the ball to the Rockets because the ball came back down after hitting the backboard and hit Mike Bibby just as he was falling out of bounds.
Good call. Didn't see a lot of contact either. From our angle, he was driving into the land of giants. Tie ball game at 18. Steve Francis averaging 18 points a game, 6.5 assists. Whirls and twirls. Finally gives out to Williams. He'll try another three ball. No. And what do we have? Loose ball foul, and it'll be on Sharif.
He doesn't like that call, but we saw Francis go flailing to the ground. And now Sharif arguing a little bit, trying to show the official that, hey, I didn't do anything. And he was really surprised when that foul was called against him.
George Tolliver, the official who was dancing with Reef there. You saw it on the television. Inbounding now, Shannon Anderson. And back to Williams. Free shot clock. Francis on the left against Bibby. They clear it out. Here we go. Mano a mano. Francis. Couple of moves. Now dives down to the baseline. Flies into the paint. Gives it. And it's good. 3 Grizzlies could not stop it.
No, and that's really the first time that he's been able to really break down Mike Bibby and get past him.
Houston with its first lead, I believe, at now 2018. Bibby from the left side angle looks for Dickerson, who comes out against Anderson. Hesitates. Ooh, up fake. Floats it out now to Bibby. Won't take the three. Francis right there. Penetration. Inside to Sharif. One fake, two fake. Puts up the shot. Good. Nice movement by the big three. Bibby, Dickerson, and Sharif. Here's Williams on top. Another three ball. Rattles short. Rebound to Kesey. Outlet to Bibby. Mike gets into the center lane. Has Dickerson on the right. Hesitates. Now takes the shot. Top of the circle. No good. Running it down to Sharif. Right shot clock. Bibby with it. Back left. Reef thinks about a three. No. Comes down to the baseline. Needs help. Into Dickerson. Ball batted away by Francis. Out of bounds. Vancouver ball.
Vancouver ball.
And I believe we'll have a timeout. We will indeed, with 2:05 remaining in the first quarter. 2020 tie ball game. This is Grizzlies NBA basketball. Charles Barkley will be starting, we're told, at the beginning of the second quarter. Prior to the ball game, he reflected with the press about his career.
You know, when you sit down and think about what you want to accomplish in life, and I'm very confident in myself. I still never expected all the things that have happened to me. So you just never know. You just have to set your goals, and sometimes you'll overachieve them.
How do you want the fans who love you to remember you?
Just a guy who was a good player who had a blast doing what he was doing.
I still like what Jay Triano said. He's a good guy trying to be a bad guy.
Yeah, he's very, very colorful. Always spoke his mind, whether it was what you wanted to hear or not.
Absolutely. Grizzlies are tied 20-20 as we have a couple more minutes before the beginning of the second quarter. Dickerson comes down to the baseline. Give and go. Upside. Here's the lay-in attempt. No good by Kesey. It was the pick and go. This didn't work. Francis brings it up court. Houston can take the lead here with 1:50 to go first quarter. Steve walking over left. Now tosses it back to Kenny Thomas. Thought about an alley-oop to Cato. He wasn't there. So they'll give to Cato on the left side against Kesey. Thinks about it. Puts it on the floor. Turns. Here's the fadeaway. Yes. Kelvin Cato averaging 8 points, 6 rebounds a game. And this is a 9-2 Rockets run. They lead it by 2. Bibby to Dickerson on the left. Anderson right up in his face, so they give it inside to Sharif. Reef working the base. Can't shoot off the double team. Feed now underneath to Kesey, and he is fouled from behind. His old buddy, Steve Francis, his college teammate, with the foul on Kesey. And they share a laugh.
They're saying that there's no shot on that. I don't know what they thought Kesey was going to do.
Oh, my. He was shooting.
Oh, boy. I thought that was a shot.
Oh, my goodness. He was clearly going up to shoot. Ooh. Horrible call. Here's Dickerson with a fadeaway. He'll bury it from the left elbow.
Boy, I'll tell you, Michael Dickerson's catch and shoot has been so impressive over the last 8 games. He really developed that nicely. He has his feet squared as he catches the basketball, and it's all one motion.
Shoots over 43%. Think of how many of them are from way outside. There's attempted penetration by Francis, and he tosses the ball away. He's coming off a game last night with 8 turnovers. So he can destruct as well as construct.
Well, he does. He can score down, but you're right. Sometimes he tries to get his teammates involved, and the last option is sometimes a pass or a kick out.
Game tied at 22. Bibby walks down to the left side. Shot clock down to 14. Mike, pick and roll, go to Akizi, takes it to the hoop. This time blocked by Cato. Picked up though by Harrington. Down to Bibby on the baseline. His jump shot is good. A two-pointer.
And Mike's first shot of the game made. Donnie had missed his previous 4.
Good hustle by Harrington to run down that loose ball, too. 24-22 Grizzlies, 35 seconds. Three-pointer. Francis, no. Run down in the corner by both Harrington and Dickerson. The Houston connection for the Grizzlies. Bibby brings it up court. Looking at the shot clock, they want to back away, eat some time up, and now Bibby finally hears Jim Boylan, the assistant coach. He's got to do the yelling. Lionel is virtually speechless or hoarse from that cold he's suffering. Bibby drives down to the left, foul line high, takes the jump shot, rim short, underneath. Cato with a big muscle rebound, out to Francis. They've got 6 seconds. 5, floats it down to the right side. Kenny Thomas with the shot, blocked away by Akizi. Picked up, shot with 1 second to go. No, tip, no. Wow, a flourish of activity to end the first quarter. You'd think it was the end of the game. As the Grizzlies hold on to a 24-22 lead at the end of the first quarter. We're in Houston, and if all goes to plans, we might see Charles Barkley end his career in just a moment. Stick around. Second quarter of tonight's game coming right up. Run-ins with some mascots around the league, including Rocky of the Denver Nuggets, who came all the way down here tonight for one final meeting. And Charles, with the left hook, wins again. And Rocky staggers off the floor.
That's one of the things that made Barkley so much of a fan favorite everywhere that he went, Don. He's not afraid to have fun with mascots, with other coaches, to talk to the fans during games, and really brought a new attitude towards the NBA when he came into the NBA, along with some of the other greats.
Jay, we were told he'd be coming in for the first couple minutes of the second quarter. We're here, and obviously he's not into the ball game. So we'll just wait, and maybe Charles is going to pick his spot.
Well, I think Rudy T's going to pick his spot when he thinks his team may need a lift or may need to get the crowd into the game.
Well, I don't know how effective he can be, though. You're right, though. The psychological fans,
yeah.
You're right. Jumper by Mobley on the left, who's just come into the game, is no good, and the Grizzlies holding a 2-point lead. Bibby brings it down to Harrington for the finger roll as he wanted to jam it too far outside, so he laid it up and in.
Yeah, he got a flat tire halfway up for that jam. He was going to dunk it, all of a sudden his legs didn't quite carry him up high enough.
Harrington now 2 of 2. 6 points thus far. Mobley circulates over to the right and gives it now to Bullard. Bullard, to his back spasms, wasn't even expected to play tonight. Into Pig Miller, back out on top. Pig just into the ball game. Finally, Mobley settles for the three-pointer that's no good, and Akizi with the rebound. Akizi has been very active. 3 rebounds already. Sharif to Dickerson of the baseline. Scoots along the base. Tries to find an opening. Turns. Corkscrew jumper is good. Off the window. And the Grizzlies extend the lead to 6 again.
And the fans here in Houston ooh and ah and say, I remember those.
8 points, 1 assist so far for Michael Dickerson, who is 3 of 4 shooting. Big Country about to come back into the game. Mobley penetrates, kicks it out to Bullard. Bullard can't get a shot away. Finally feed down to Thomas, checked by Akizi. Still with the ball is Kenny Thomas, turns into the paint, 1 on the shot clock, and his jump hook is good.
Nice move by Thomas, Don, because you're right, the shot clock was running down. He had no time to try to throw another pass.
Thomas with a lot of composure for a rookie in the NBA out of New Mexico. Had a great year due to all the injuries, as Jay pointed out earlier. We've got a foul. It's going to be failing to set the pick on Akizi as the rookie gets picked on a little bit. He's trying to pick off his old college teammate. Wow. And Lionel hot about it, too, with George Tolliver.
And Lionel, you can't really hear what he's saying.
No,
I don't think George Tolliver can hear him either.
But the way the lips and the jaw's moving up and down, it's not asking what he's going to do on Easter Sunday. There's a technical. I don't know how George can hear it.
Well, he heard enough.
Lionel's hot. Maybe his last game as head coach for the Grizzlies. He has left his heart on the floor. I'll tell you that. He has worked as hard as anybody I've seen.
George Tolliver was right there, and he and Lionel were talking. Lionel thinks that there was actually no movement on the screen and said a little bit too much to warrant the technical foul call.
So Mobley goes to the foul line for Houston, and Mr. Automatic puts it down. He's at 84% this year. He had 18 points and 7 rebounds against Lionel Holland's Grizzlies back on 1st of April. Now a smile on the face of Train. I think everybody's just having fun tonight. Yeah, he got the message across.
Exactly.
And that's all he was intending to do, and the referees realize it. 3-point game. To the right is Mobley. Checked by Dickerson. Two very close friends. They were teammates last year in Houston. High fake, goes down low, puts it behind his back, now passes out to Miller. He didn't handle it. Gentry picks it up. Foot race. Mobley and Dickerson spin up with a two-headed jam. Dickerson burns his old buddy.
Oh, Dickerson, I'll tell you what, 4 of 5 shooting right now with a couple of free throws for 10 points to lead all scorers in this game.
Rudy Tomjanovic's smile's gone away. Moochie Norris brings it up court. Walking over to the right side angle. Steve Francis now on the bench. Give to Miller on the baseline. We didn't see Pig in the last meeting. Feed to Thomas in the paint. Backs away. Didn't like the angle. Going to work on Country. Spins. Gives to Bullard. He'll shoot the two-pointer. Good. Matt Bullard, a good shooter. In fact, he's third in the league in three-point shooting, Jay.
Well, Don, that's exactly his game, too. Right there.
Yep.
Facing the basket. Anytime you make him do something else, either put it on the floor or try to back in, he's not as effective as he is when he stands and shoots it.
Dickerson fakes right, drives left, floats it out to Bibby. He'll take the three-pointer. Rim short. Rebound to Bullard. Bullard will bring it up himself to the left side. A ball handler he is not. Give to Mobley now on the left against Dickerson. Luring out the side. And let's see if it's Mobley on Dickerson. Here comes the penetration. The drive. Shot blocked. Oh! Looked awfully clean to me. Mark Davis with the foul on Dickerson. I'll tell you something. He had the worst angle of all three referees, and he's the one that calls the foul.
Yeah, Michael Dickerson says that was all ball.
Let's take a timeout and be right back.
In Demand, pay-per-view for the demanding viewer. You rule.
So, people get off the bus, pick out the car they want, be on their way in seconds.
We'll call it Fast Break, our fastest way to rent a car.
Can we get people from the airport to their car quicker?
We can if we give everyone jet propulsion packs.
Crack open the bleeder valve and fill the tank to 800 psi. What?
I like the Fast Break idea.
That's a great idea. I like that one. Okay, let's go with that one. Wow.
You know, the most amazing things happen to me every time I begin to read. I can fly among the moon and stars, or I can visit lands both near and far. I've always liked a good mystery, but there are so many things that interest me. And my favorite thing is when it ends, another book starts it all again.
And go on.
You're with Michael Heisley tonight. Has there been any indication yet about your future?
No, not really, not at all. And I think that Michael has always maintained that he would not make any decisions until he officially owned the team, and he's held to that. I respect him for that. And in due time, certainly things will clear up.
Stu, when you're talking about accomplishments at the home game against Minnesota, the team played extremely well, but I thought what was most moving was the reception that the fans gave the players and vice versa at the end of the game. It was very touching.
Yeah, without question. And certainly, you know, along the way these past 5 years, we certainly have had our challenges, but one of them has not been the support that the fans have given us, and I mean that in a heartfelt way. That it's just been tremendous the way that the fans have supported this team.
All right, well, I'm sure you're going to be in the thoughts of all Vancouverites. You know, the way the team has played down the stretch, it's like we're 1 or 2 players away, and that's what you've always maintained, and their play lately seems to demonstrate that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that same feeling is echoed by Mr. Heisley, who also feels that we're only a player or 2 away from being a very good team. But certainly he's got to make decisions in the best interest of what is now his club, and that's what he'll do. And certainly we'll go on from there.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks much.
And we certainly second that to a man who had a lot to do with bringing me to Vancouver, Stu Jackson, general manager of the Vancouver Grizzlies. Mobley made the foul shots. It's 30-29. Here's Country now with a fadeaway that is good. And he's got the hot hand tonight as Reeves is 4 of 4.
Well, the front line, Don, has not missed. They're combined 8 for 8 from the field.
Power it inside. Mobley and now rather Moochie Norris against Milt Palacio. Cross-court pass to Bullard. Bullard takes the deep jump shot. Good. That's 2 in a row. This time over his old teammate Othello Harrington. Charles is about to come into the ball game, stretching in front of the scores table. And we will see him for the last time in his NBA career in the country. Ball batted away. Palacio goes back to fetching. 9 on the shot clock. Palacio will take the jumper himself, way off to the right. Rebound goes to Thomas. Kenny gets it out now to Mobley. Mobley can play the point or the shooting guard spot. Trying to get a screen from Bullard. Not much there. Dickerson stays right with him. Now comes down to the baseline. Up with a shot. No. Good block and good rebound by Harrington. Quarterback pass up to Palacio. On the left. 1-on-3. No. Give the country. Is it going to be 5 of 5? Misses the jumper. Big Miller with a rebound. Big trying to do his thing as a point guard. No. Up to Bullard. Bullard hands off to Norris. He played for Vancouver momentarily. Had a cup of coffee with the Grizzlies. Trying to create on his own, and finally Thomas comes down to set a pick for him. They do not get the... Now we got illegal defense on the Grizzlies. They were trying to get a mismatch. And now here comes Charles Barkley. Listen to the ovation.
For Kenny Thomas, number 4, Sir Charles Barkley.
It'll be Charles against his old teammate, Othello Harrington. How active Charles will be, we don't know. He does not have a brace on his knee. Overweight, you betcha. Boldy from the left against Dickerson. Tries to drive, spins, runs into 2 players, puts up the shot, no good. Charles not even in the middle of it. I don't think he's going to scrap too hard tonight. Here's the pass now into Harrington, checked by Miller, who's had a few pork chops in his life, too. Harrington waits, now comes in, here's the fadeaway, good. Harrington is now 3 of 3, 4 of 5 for country. Dickerson 4 of 5, and Abdur Rahim 2 of 2.
Boy, Mike Bibby and the bench, the only ones who have missed shots, or really missed shots anyway.
56% shooting for the Grizzlies, only 40 for Houston. Norris trying to create on his own. They're doing a lot of that tonight, standing around and trying to create the one-on-one. Behind the back pass, nearly stolen, and it is by Dickerson. Brings it up court. Has Mobley there. Crossover move. The finger roll, and it's good. Dickerson with yet another breakdown. He's hurting his old team. He's got 12 tonight, 5 of 6 shooting.
It's unfortunate the season ends for Michael Dickerson because he's playing his best basketball here at a time where a lot of people think he should be fatigued from the number of minutes he's been playing.
Bucci Norris, topside pick. Give to Charles. Shoots the jumper. No. Harrington with a rebound with Big Miller over his back. They shove it up to Palacio. Mill at quarterback, 6 rebounds now for Harrington. Here is country. Quick pass underneath. Up with a lay-in. No good by Palacio. Needs help. Goes to Harrington. His jumper is good. Harrington's on fire. 38-31. Grizzlies by 7. It is now a 6-0 run for Vancouver. 5:45 to go in the first half. Mobley in the pick and roll, trying to go to Charles, and here's another steal by Dickerson. Foot race with Mobley. Bullard's there. Ball tipped out of bounds. It'll be Vancouver ball. Mobley got just enough of it to tip it out to Bullard, and he could hold on.
Everybody trying to give the ball to Charles Barkley. The Grizzlies know that, Don, and they've anticipated the steal twice. Dickerson getting 2 steals in a row.
Trying to rain on Charles Parade of the Grizzlies. 38-31 Grizzlies. More Grizzlies basketball after this.
And how they're trying to get the ball to Charles Barkley. Well, Michael Dickerson anticipates well. Charles Barkley can't catch up to Dickerson. For a matter of fact, neither can Mobley. Dickerson with a nice drive and lay-in. He's got 12 points for the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Just hope that Mr. Heisley and his future coaching staff, if indeed there is a future one, is seeing how Michael Dickerson plays his best basketball.
Well, Heisley has come out and said this was a very, very good trade, Don. The trade from Francis for Dickerson, and he has seen Dickerson play a lot, thinks he's very, very good, and hey, that's something we all know as well, because Dickerson has really progressed in his second NBA season.
I guess the point I'm saying, though, Jay, is how to utilize him so that he can flourish like that, and boy, he has. Here's the jump hook. No good. On the left side, got it. The ball goes off the hands of Mobley, and it's Vancouver ball. Now wait a minute. Now Jess Kersey says it goes the other way. Wow.
It looked very innocent, but you can see Palacio didn't really make it look too good. He did a good job of disguising it and actually knocked the basketball out of Mobley's hands, and the official that was watching on the play was blocked off. There's no way he could see it. Felipe Lopez going to come into the game, and Charles having a talk with his former teammate Othello Harrington, they went at it many, many times in practice.
They had some brutal wars in practice, I'm told. Very, very tough days. And it just made them both better. And Grizzlies thank Charles for that.
Yes.
Here's the pass now into Barkley against Harrington. Holds it overhead. Gives it out to Bullard. He'll shoot the jumper. Good. Bullard has helped Houston quite a bit tonight. They're 3 of 3 with him shooting.
And Barkley has an assist.
Does indeed.
He'll probably get a basket and a rebound and sit down.
Yep. Coming over right side, Palacio with a drive up with a finger roll. Short. The rebound goes to Palacio. Puts up the shot. No. Big Miller with the ball. And now stolen by Mill. Had a goofy basketball. Palacio now stolen back by Miller. Good grief, it's YMCA ball. Norris with the lay-in that's good. Well, this game means nothing, and you could tell Pig felt that way. I'm going for it. He was ready to do his Steve Francis thing. 38-35, Grizzlies by 3. Dickerson roams down to the baseline, comes up back high side, passes over to Harrington. He'll shoot over Pig, and the jumper is good. Harrington now with 12 points, matching Dickerson's dozen.
And both players, Harrington and Dickerson, 5 of 6 from the field.
From the left is Bullock. Bounce pass into Charles. Trying to get the fade away. He's got it. Shoots. Air ball. Country with a rebound. Up to Harrington. Othello checked by Mobley. Needs help. Got it to Dickerson. There's the mismatch now. Let's see if they clear it out for him. Drive into the lane. Pass underneath. Harrington didn't see it coming. Pass a little hard, but you know what? Nice idea. Mobley shoves it down right side to Miller, out of bounds, and this game is getting sloppier by the second.
It certainly is. And Mike Bibby's going to come in along with Sharif Abdur-Rahim. He'll give Dickerson, no Palacio a chance to sit down, and Michael Dickerson.
Palacio, Dickerson, as Jay says, and I think Mr. Harrington's going to come sit down too. 5 of 6 shooting, as Jay said. So now let's see if Bibby and Sharif can continue the scoring. Dennis Scott into the ball game for the first time. In the country from Felipe. Ball knocked out of his hands. Picked up by Felipe. Goes to the hoop, and that's jump ball. Mobley doing a great job of getting 2 hands on the ball as Felipe found the loose ball knocked out of Country's hands. Went it to the rack. So did, excuse me, was it Mobley or Norris?
No, it was Moochie Norris.
Thank you, Moochie Norris.
Yep. Barkley with a block on Country, and then Lopez has it, goes right back up, but Norris is right there, and they wrestle for it, but no one can come up with it.
My mistake. Ball tipped into the air, controlled by Dennis Scott, who puts it up and down. Got the jumper. Dennis Scott came into this game just 2 of 10 in his last 3 games, and he hits his first offering tonight. Grizzlies by 7. Look out. Here we go. Francis against Sharif. Drive by Francis, kicks it back out. Bullard with the 3. No. Felipe taps. Get it to Sharif. Sharif with the rebound. 3 tonight. Dickerson about to come right back into the game. Drive by Reed. Kicks it outside. Lopez. Jumper. Good.
That's a nice play by Sharif to penetrate, freeze the defense, and then kick out to the open man. Lopez has his first bucket of the game.
I believe that's the biggest lead, too. On a 12-4 run by the Grizzlies, it is at 9, 44-35. Moochie Norris against Sharif on the mismatch. Cuts to his left. Country there to help. Oh, boy, did he clobber him. And no foul called. The ball bounces off Norris out of bounds. Vancouver ball.
Well, it was a nice play by Dennis Scott. The ball was bouncing out of bounds. He saved it and threw it off of Norris before it went out.
Oh, man, big Country. He was a wall on that drive. We got a timeout. This is Grizzlies NBA basketball.
Impact Center coming up at the half. We'll take a look at part 2 of a look back over a season full of twists and turns. We'll head back to VTV for a news break, and Don and Jay will have first half highlights.
Well, Charles Barkley is back at it again. As Rocky is now being double teamed by Mobley with Barkley with a knee to the jaw, a knee to the groin, a left cross, a right hook, a jab, and now throws Barkley Jr., a youngster with a whole bunch of padding on and a Barkley jersey thrown on top of Rocky. And Clutch, the mascot for Houston, is now being on Rocky. And I tell you, we're getting as much entertainment with the mascots as we are with basketball tonight. There, they took care of Rocky and got him off the floor, and Charles helping out. Well, it's that kind of night. You know, this game has absolutely no bearing on either team's race or playoff race or anything else, so why not have some fun and enjoy the Charles Barkley party? yet to score. He's 0 for 2. The Grizzlies lead 44-35. Here's Bibby. Comes out to the top of the circle, trying to get it into Sharif. Dangerous pass, got it to him on the right. He'll take the jumper over Bullard, and it's good. Grizzlies are shooting lights out, 54%. Reeve is 3 of 3. Harrington 5 of 6. Country 4 of 6. Dickerson 5 of 6. Bibby's the only one not hitting tonight, 1 of 7. Barkley on the left against Country, tosses under to Bullard, reverse lay-in, no. Rebound underneath, Sharif's got it. A lot of Grizzlies, though, going for that loose ball. Vancouver by 11. Bibby with 7 assists, so he's doing a lot of dishing, just not scoring much. Bounce pass into Reeve, turns on Bullard. From behind, here comes Moochie, and the jump hook is good anyway. Sharif is scoring at will right now.
Yeah, he is. He's taking advantage of Bullard guarding him at the defense end. What he has to do is make sure he leans on Bullard a little bit.
Felipe stays with Francis. Great job by Felipe staying right there. Couldn't shoot. Go to Bullard for the 3. Rattles, and falls in. That's too bad. I tell you, Felipe did a terrific job on Francis.
Yeah, he didn't allow the Francis penetration, but everybody got caught watching Francis, and Bullard showed up for the open 3-point shot.
10-point lead still for the Grizzlies, 48-38. Down to 1:37 to go here off the backboard. They're trying to go alley-oop to Sharif. Bibby with a high lob, and they didn't connect very well.
No, that was not a good pass by Mike Bibby. Sharif stepped in looking for the seal. Bullard got in front that time, and on the lob pass, Mike Bibby just simply overthrew his teammate.
Sharing a laugh with each other as they slap hands after the misconnection. Norris now comes over left. Moochie dives between defenders into the paint. Akizi's there. Good hand in the face. Childs with a rebound. Put back is good. Fans on their feet as Sir Charles will go to the foul line, Jay.
It's only fitting that he should get the ovation that he does for getting number 1 on offensive rebound and then pump faking, drawing the foul, and making the basket.
Foul shot way off to the right. The rebound to Akizi, but Barkley's in the newspaper. 2 points and a rebound and an assist.
And I think he's probably coming out, Don, and this may be it.
Charles Barkley retires from the NBA. 16 years. Only the 3rd player in history to gain over 20,000 points, over 10,000 rebounds, and over 4,000 assists. The MVP in 92 and 93. One of the most colorful, provocative, and talented young men ever to play in the National Basketball Association. Crowd remains on its feet.
Charles a little bit heavier than he was in his playing days, or earlier this season when he was playing quite a bit.
48-40, drive now by Dickerson, passes outside, deflected by Bullard out of bounds. Vancouver still with the ball, 12 on the shot clock. 16 seasons. This won't be the same without Sir Charles.
Oh, I don't think we're going to miss him, Don. I think he's probably going to be doing exactly what you and I do.
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll see him. Just not on the floor. Sharif with a spin move, lost the handle, now picked up by Francis. Here comes Steve, drives the lane, shot no good, and the foul is called.
But Francis had a real tough time getting going in this game, Don. Yeah. We saw one move where he was able to really get past Mike Bibby. Lopez did a nice job, and then on this fast break, he's able to cut through both Bibby and Lopez, get fouled, and he will go to the free throw line to see if he can build on his 2 points that he has so far in this game.
It's funny that the foul was not on Bibby. He's the one with the contact. I don't think Felipe touched him at all, but Felipe with the foul. So Steve Francis from the foul line this year at 78%. Had 30 points and 6 turnovers against the Grizzlies on April 4th. Was 3 of 5 from outside the line. Had a good game. He and Bibby really the 2 plots to that story. First one good, second one ditto. 48-42 as Houston's got a little something going now. Is that a 7-0 run there, Stevie D? 6-0. Thank you, sir. Here's a drive by Dickerson to the baseline, gets cut off though, and now tries again, brings it in, lost the ball, a lot of contact, no foul called. Norris, who's fouled by Bibby to prevent the easy lay-in. Both teams are checking, just the Grizzlies are in the penalty.
You bet your sweet Bippy.
So, I haven't heard that in ages.
No.
You bet your sweet Bippy. So Norris will go to the foul line.
Moochie Norris at the line, shoots 2.
Moochie in his 30th game with Houston when he signed in February for the rest of the year. Too many injuries. Right screw is down with calcium deposits, or bone spurs rather, in his ankle. First one's good by Moochie. As Lionel Hollins at 17 and 42. Boy, what a ride we went with Lionel in January and February. Wow. So the Grizzlies went 6-8, 6-7.
The 2 most successful months in franchise history.
Yep. And a lot of those games on the road. I'll never forget that road trip east when he 4 out of 5 on the Atlantic coast. Wow. Bibby with a jumper on the right side that's good against Bullard on the mismatch. 50-44. That snaps the string by Houston. An 8-0 run. Now Grizzlies back on the scoreboard. 20 seconds to go. First half. 12 in the shot clock. 11, 10, 9. Francis still with the ball on the left. Double team by Lopez. Give it out to Norris. Norris drives right side of the gate. Gives in to Bullard. Easy layup. 10 seconds to go. Quickly out to Felipe. Grizzlies by 4. Felipe on the left side. Want to use up the clock. Down to 2 seconds. 1. There's the steal. And getting it away at half court. No, by Norris. As the Grizzlies did nothing with that last 10 seconds.
I'm surprised that they gave the ball to Lopez and had him bring it up. You'd like the ball into a player like Dickerson or Bibby so that they can make something happen.
So Charles Barkley and team will head back to the locker room, and Sir Charles and his career is finished. 16 colorful years in the NBA. Sir Charles with a rebound and a putback, and that's what did it for him tonight. Here at halftime, 50-46 Grizzlies. Will be back with a summary from Houston right after this.